Hello, my name is Dr. Zeeshan Bhatti and we've been talking about JavaScript functions. Continuing from there, let's see a few more examples of how we use JavaScript functions. So for example, we take a very common example of using finding Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, so I have this simple HTML written for me. Within head tag, body tag, and JavaScript 2 tag. So if I come back here, for example, I write a paragraph. This is Java script function for converting Celsius into Fahrenheit, I guess. Okay. Fahrenheit. Okay. Now what we do is we go inside this, we specify the script tag. Within the script tag we write a function called function function. Okay, and the function can be, for example, convert bracket start bracket close, and we specify the details here. Now for example, I specify Fahrenheit FAR, and then within my code I specify return return, return, and then the value can be whatever I want to return for that particular function. Okay, so in this case I think if I remember the Fahrenheit formula correctly, it's 5 divided by 9 multiplied by the Fahrenheit value minus 32 bracket close semicolon. Okay, so this becomes our function. Simple. So now again, the function is basically a block of code that performs certain tasks. We execute this function again and again. We can execute this function again and again. It's a piece of code that can execute anytime we want a certain things to happen. Okay, and then we want to print the output. In order to do that, we can use document.getElementById, and we can specify an element by ID. Now because we have this paragraph here, so what I can do is I can create another paragraph here, and I specify ID. Okay, within this ID I can say again answer or whatever you want to specify, and I'll leave it blank. Again, you can specify CSS, change the style depending on how you want to do it. So inside document.id I can go inside double quotations and I can say answer. So go find me the answer that I want to change, go inside it .inner HTML, and then we write the value. Okay, so within this we specify the convert method and close it. Now convert method needs a certain Fahrenheit value that needs to be converted into centigrade. So I will specify, for example, 98 Fahrenheit. Okay, and then I just save it. So as soon as I save it, I have my values available. Okay, this is JavaScript function, and if I come back here, answer. Okay, so still I don't have the output here. Again, in order to check the output, I come back here, Control Shift I. So if I press Control Shift I again, sorry, if I do it one more time, thank you. Okay, so now we see that it's giving us inner HTML of null. So there's an error inside the inner HTML. I go back inside my code, and if I check the inner HTML document.getElementById and then this, okay, sorry, again, see, silly spelling mistakes. So I answer. If you don't get an output as you desired, again, don't forget to check the console of your browser whenever you're doing JavaScript, because only that way you can know which errors you have made and which errors you have not made. Okay, because JavaScript does generate an error to a certain point, and they are not again displayed on the web page, they are actually displayed on your console. So we press Control Shift I to bring the console up to see what errors we are making. Once you are here, and again in this case the error was within the inner HTML tag, that's because it was not able to find this ID which I just created right here. Okay, so the spelling mistakes, again, do ensure you correct it. So now as soon as I press S, I get this value in this manner. Okay, so a simple conversion this method can be used. So now what this method does is, it the same syntax, it has a variable, one variable in this case, returns a value and it does the thing. We can declare local variables inside a function as well. So I can declare variable as answer is equals to, and I can copy this entire equation that I use of converting Fahrenheit to centigrade to Fahrenheit here. Okay, so now basically means that whatever the answer is will be saved in this variable, and in a return I can print answer here. As simple as that. So this is called a local variable. A local variable means that the visibility of this answer will only be within this block. It will not be visible outside of this particular block. It is only visible and accessible within my code. Okay. If I specify any variable in a script tag, for example, variable ans, okay, and then I give it a value of or give it a no value, right? Now this is basically a variable that is visible again within this script tag. Now JavaScript can read it. So in a way it can be considered as a more global variable, and this now becomes a local variable within a function. So this variable will be available and accessible by JavaScript outside, or this function and other functions can use it. However, the variables that are declared inside a function are known as local variables, and they will not be available outside this particular block. Okay, so hopefully that just makes a little bit sense. And if I press S again, we get the same output as we like. Okay, so there we go. Again, we can generate another thing as well. So for example, if I come here in my script, we can use this function in a different forms. We can call this function again and again in our JavaScript with certain other statements as well. So even on click event we can use it. We can create a text field and we can call it wherever we want. Okay, so another example we can do is that instead of printing the output here, I can come here and I can say, let me declare another variable called Celsius. Okay, I think cell should do the fine. So instead of printing the output here, I can come back here, and if I can just delete this line or just leave it here for now, I can come here and I can say convert. Okay, give it a number, for example 70 or something, and then give it a semicolon. So now what we have done is we have taken the function called convert, give it a particular value, so this method will be executed, and whatever answer is returned will be now saved in another variable. So you can pass the value of one function into another variable as well. Like here we passed the value of a function to an inner HTML text. Okay, in this case we have passed it to another variable, and we can use this variable now to print the output. So I can come here and I can do Control X. I can come here and put it after this. So instead of doing this, I can say, for example, the temperature in Celsius is, and then I can say plus, and then CEL. Okay, and then I can just remove this thing here. So now what we did here is that we simply said the document.getElement by ID answer inner HTML, same code, but now we gave it a string. The temperature in Celsius is this plus Celsius. So whatever answer is saved here is now passed here and will be printed here. So you can play around with the values of your function as well. You can take value of function from one argument, pass it to another as well. So Control S, now this should be saved. Okay, and if I go back into my browser, if I come here and you can see this value is basically printed here. The temperature is this thing. Okay, so you can use the values of function in this manner as well. We will be using more examples of functions in next exercises. Hope you understand this, and get back to me if there's any problem and any questions. If you're here for the first time and if you watch this complete lecture, thank you very much for that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe icon and click on that bell icon as well, so that you get the notification of all the latest videos. Thank you very much. See you around. Fi Manullah.